But I'm standing here in front of Max, the progeny, is that the right word? Randy and Dave, a wonderful young man who's, I would say, the late 20s, something like that, who just got back from his pilgrimage, his first trip to Israel. And I told Max that I just wanted to use him for show and tell. So, could you stand up, Max? In my continuing, really not to embarrass, because we're just so impressed. Tell us about how you wanted to go there several years back, and the door opened. Tell us about you being able to get in there, because that's quite a feat with everything going on.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't easy right now with the virus and everything. Israel is always on the forefront of security and health issues. So, yeah, we were supposed to leave on the 11th. Like, my tour group was supposed to arrive on the 11th. And about a week before, the government, the Knesset, put into place a policy saying that anybody that's not an Israeli citizen arriving on the 11th would not be able to be allowed in the country. Well, that's not totally true. You would get there, and even if you tested negative in the airport for COVID, you would have to quarantine regardless of your results for 7 days. And this trip was only an 11-day thing, so that would have impaired it a bit, quite a bit. And yeah, we were very, very blessed. Normally tour groups going there are about anywhere from 30 to 40 US people. Ours was only about 13, plus the Israelis that joined our trip. And every single person on that trip agreed to move the trip 2 days in advance. So because of that, we were allowed into the country, and it was able to actually take place. So yeah, it was definitely a blessing.
How were you blessed? Just your reactions. I mean, you are part Jewish. I mean, I'm just saying, you're Jewish. You're a Messianic Jew. And what are your impressions of just the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely just say that that's one of the closest times in my life of feeling close to God. Especially, we went to a lot of the holy sites. We went to the wall, and yeah, I mean, you see a lot about that on TV, and you hear a lot about it, and you read about it, and you know. But it's another thing to actually be there, and to be there with a ton of believers that, yeah, I mean, just being there and praying and feeling close to God was a really amazing thing.
Any other questions?
How many people? I mean, did you intermix with the people there at all?
Yeah, we were very lucky. The tours, they go all the way from the north, all the way in the northernmost point, all the way down to the south, and a ton of places in between. And on these trips, they really try to teach you about your heritage, but they don't throw any one belief at you and say, this is what you have to think. So they really present you with as many facts as you can possibly have on both sides of the issue, of the conflict in Israel and with the Palestinians and the Arabs and everything there. And it was just a really great experience just getting to hear about both sides and talk to people on both sides.
But I mean, the people that live there all the time, how do they accept Americans? Were they very gracious, or how were they towards you?
Yeah, we did not really have a bad encounter with anyone. I think everyone is so grateful to have us there, just to be able to experience Israel, and I think they recognize the importance of having people go there and see what's actually going on and talk to actual Israeli citizens and visit all these places, because you can come back to wherever you're from. They don't just do birthright trips for people from the US, they do them from all over the world. So having that experience and being able to go back to your home country like, I think is very beneficial.
Did you, if you could say one time that you had an encounter with the Lord, of all the whole time, like, where did you encounter the Lord the most?
I mean, there were a lot of very, very powerful, impactful moments. I think one thing I've kind of struggled with in my life is the separation in Judaism between Reform, Orthodox Jews, and most of the Jewish world, and then Messianic Jews. Taking on the belief of the New Testament and Christ is something that a lot of Orthodox Jews feel very, I guess, threatened by, would be the word. It's just hard to take on that belief. So I've always kind of felt like I'm a Jew, but I'm not a Jew, and where am I? And one morning, we had Shabbat in Jerusalem, so we got to go to a very, very Orthodox synagogue. Very cool experience, just being there and just being able to see what was going on and just be around them. I felt very lucky that we were even allowed in, because we were not in, they're in like the talit, and they have the hats, and I mean, they really go all out. But yeah, like knowing that background as well, like there was definitely a part of me that was like, I don't know, not feeling weird about being there, but just not totally like you belong. Which is really hard for me, because I think the ethnicity of being Jewish is really important. So I view all Jews as Jews. When we went into the main room, where the rabbi was, and they were saying a lot of prayers, this man turns around and he starts yelling at us in Hebrew. I mean, he's just emphatically yelling at us. And I don't really speak Hebrew, so I didn't know what he was saying. But that was the hope, yeah. But one of our staff members did speak Hebrew, so he turned around and he told us what this man was emphatically yelling was, all Jews go to heaven. And I just thought that was one of the most impactful things on the entire trip. It's just
interesting.
Yeah. It just meant a lot in the moment. Like all Jews, all believers.
Well, we want to just pray for you. Lord, we thank you for Max and his experience and how it's affected his life and how it adds to his destiny, what you have for him to do. And so we just pray your blessing, and continued blessing on him as he, the next generation, Lord, of followers of Yeshua, and as he ministers to fellow brothers and sisters, Jewish brothers and sisters, that you'll just show him how to do it in a very loving way, just as you did. And we just bless him in your name, Jesus. Amen. Thank you.